Hi there. I'm here with Krzysz, whose name is actually Krzysztof.
Yeah,
but for the convenience of the Americans, you've just turned your, is it Polish name?
Yeah, it's a Polish. In Polish it's Krzysztof.
Krzysztof.
Krzysztof. But it's,
okay.
It's easier to call me Krzysz, or maybe the longer version.
Did you know I did the very same thing? So actually, my name is Martin Siebert. It's German, but they can't speak. It's very inconvenient for Americans. So I always say Martin Siebert. Mm-hmm. And it's actually I'm Siebert, but it's
very similar.
I found this very interesting and also relatable when I saw that you just changed your mail address to be convenient for Americans
and make the email address shorter, like Krzysz@Appsfire without surname, so it's better during the.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. You're an app vendor on the Atlassian marketplace.
Okay, so basically in terms of I started working in the ecosystem during Jira 4.4, so it was quite a long time ago, and I done a lot of customizations to existing customers.
Services basically.
Yeah, like the professional services. So we're changing everything from changing how some custom fields works, adding new reports. So whatever the customer wanted from us, we provided this custom solution. Mm-hmm. And this how the love to Jira started in my case. I think it was because of the flexibility. So we were able to do almost everything in Jira, using the workflows, using the custom fields, the different dashboards, gadgets, etc., etc. So it was the time that the customization was very important, because especially on the Polish market, the customers wanted to achieve a specific feature than desired. So today is different, because you need to adapt to the cloud, to the limitations that Atlassian create for you. Mm-hmm. So the approach is different.
But you learned your trade with working for clients, kind of.
Yes. I started as a consultant in Jira Server, then Jira Data Center, and recently the Jira Cloud.
Do you like developing apps on the cloud better than for server and data center?
Very good question. At the beginning, I remember that it was very difficult to me write any app on the cloud, because I was used to write apps in Java, and JavaScript never was my a strong side. So
you had to relearn kind of new language, new paradigms.
Exactly. Everything was new. So, but later I discovered that the cloud apps are a little bit better, because they are closed in a small area within the Jira Cloud. So you basically can't damage the other apps or can't damage the Jira features from your app. So this is very, very different things in terms of the Jira Cloud and the data center. And I think that there was less support on the cloud as well, in terms of our apps, right? In terms of the data center apps, there was always some questions regarding what other apps you have installed. Can you uninstall them? Then please check the bug again. So at the end, I think the cloud is much better hosting for us and for the vendor perspective, and also for the user. I was a big fan of the data center, but now I've switched to the cloud.
Yeah, I think the only thing you can say about the developer experience on data center is it's limitless, right? You can do everything. You can even replace things that Atlassian has built that they may seem core with your app. And this way, everything the customer wants, everything you want to do, you can possibly do, which may not be a good idea, but it's exactly possible. while the cloud allows you to use React, TypeScript, like a lot of you could possibly also use Python, but let's stick to React and TypeScript and like modern paradigms of software development, how people build modern software today. And
there are the migrations, right? It's harder to migrate Jira data center to another Jira data center if you have 100
but it's not easy in cloud either, right?
Well, it's smoother, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's much smoother. Of course, you need your admin to check everything, to do some...
So then after you, are you still doing service work?
No.
Only apps now?
No.
Okay. And what type of apps do you offer?
At the beginning, we had only apps that extended the Jira Service Desk. It's called Jira Service Management, but I personally prefer the first name. Later, we added some apps for the Jira software as well. Mm-hmm. For example, the issue template agent, which is written in Forge, is super powerful. Works on the native create issue screen, and probably this is the biggest, benefit of this app when you compare to the others. But still, the ITSM area is our main focus. We'd like to extend the portal side, adding new views, features for the customers, internal and the external customers, but also the agent side to provide them better data to make decisions about the tickets. What we are also working on is to improve or to design a little bit better incident management, which is connected with the agent and the customers. So basically the idea is to share the incidents that are created by the agent to the proper group of the customers on the portal. Right now we have some solutions, but they are very limited. For example, the status page, a very nice application, but I don't think so it's very practical. For example, to create a banner in the status page, you need to define it manually, right? So there's no process, right?
How many apps do you have on the app?
9 apps. Today we have 9 apps.
9 apps, okay. And are all of them free, or some free, some paid, or all paid?
Yeah, we have one free app. It's ITSM Reports.
Yeah, okay.
It's a Forge-based app. We make it free just to see if there's a demand for this kind of application. It's a quite common approach, but we checked this earlier and it works. The issue template that I mentioned is also free at the beginning, but during the 1 year, it grew to more than 2,000 active installations. Mm-hmm. And then we switched to the commercial version. So in terms of the portfolio, so most of the apps are for the Jira Service Management. 4 of them are written in the Forge. Some of them just
How do you perceive the difference between a Connect app and a Forge app?
Because I used to be a developer, so I have 2 perspectives, the technical perspective or the developer perspective and let's say business perspective, right? So the technical perspective is that it's a little bit better because you don't have to carry about, hosting services, right? Mm-hmm. In terms of the security, I don't like the statement that the Forge is more secure than Connect because it's not true in general. You can have a very secure Connect app. It all depends where it's hosted, who is the admin of the server, etc. So,
so there's some things that customers could bring in where they say, for example, data residency is something that's important for me, and doing data residency in a Connect app is much harder.
It's much harder to do, but it's also possible, and there are many examples of the vendors that have this.
Yeah.
The thing with the Forge is that there are a lot of things missing at the beginning. Even today, the data residence is not rolled out 100%, so basically it's not available.
Yeah, that's true.
But when they complete this, it will be available to everyone.
Can you explain a little about your apps, for example, the templating app or
Feature bundle, for example.
What's the target group of the apps that you create? You said it's a lot about ITSM. So I'm creating a service portal with for service requests, and then what is the specific use case? What's the target group? What is people doing that are buying your app, and where you're helping? Can you explain?
Okay, so I think our target group are people who takes care about processes on the customer portal. Like it could be like a ITSM manager, or it could be someone who designed the incident management process, or any other process that interacts or touches the customer portal somehow. Because what we do, we have apps that provide a bunch of functionality to the customer portal. So it's not just one feature that we put on the portal. There are 4 or 5 features that can exist together, but they can also be used separately. So it all depends on the needs, I would say. But in terms of the audience, definitely people who design the customer portal, who design who will be the external customers, who will be the internal, what services they have, right? So someone who designed the service catalog. Those are the people that are very important to us.
Yeah, cool. Let's shift gears a little. It's less than a week ago. One of the founders of Atlassian, Scott Farquar, told that he don't want to continue as a CEO. And you're an entrepreneur yourself. Obviously not with 11,000 employees, but still, like, what's your take on that? How do you feel with that? Like, what's your reaction?
So, like, first reaction was, okay, I understand this, because he mentioned about the family, that he needs to spend more time with his family, which is quite obvious reason after so many years of success, business travels, etc. I think the only one thing that we can be sure that there will be a change. We don't know in which direction the change goes, but there will be a change. And there are so many questions. Does the mic remain on the sole CEO position? Does someone join to mic? Or maybe there are some maybe there's a bigger game somewhere. So there will be a change, and I think that we'll see, or maybe even they will announce something during the team. We don't know, but something will change definitely. Like, I'm pretty sure.
Are you frightened of that? Did it, or doesn't matter?
I wouldn't say. I don't treat this as like a threat. Threat, like it's. I think it could like a natural process. Like he's here like 22, 23 years.
Oh, he was very explicit of trying to other things. And
so very long time he done something incredibly big and something that impacts on businesses everywhere. Yeah. So I think that from my perspective that he achieved much more than he expected at the beginning.
That's guaranteed. Okay, cool. Thanks. We can't talk about what Atlassian announces because it's still before that, but it will have to do something with AI. What's your take on that overall thing? And let's be a little bit specific on Atlassian tools and AI. What is the future of that? What do you see? What's your take?
Yes. In terms of the AI within the Atlassian ecosystem, I think it might work for basic tasks like creating some summaries based on the input. The input could be the Jira issues, it could be the Confluence pages, etc. Good is that the Atlassian AI is closed, like the context of the AI is closed. So if you use the AI in the Confluence, you can be sure that your input will not go
to ChatGPT. Yeah.
Exactly, right? From the vendor perspective, I have much more questions and concerns how the AI will be used because now we as vendors, we don't have access to the Atlassian AI.
Oh, it's going to change.
Oh,
as this is going to be released.
So this is maybe the announcement.
We've been involved in that. There's going to be AI agents.
Okay.
And Sharif, forgive me, but when this is aired, you'll have your announcement for long. So there's going to be agents that will help you as a marketplace vendor, as an app vendor, to tap into the conversation between the customer and the AI and say, oh, look, I can solve that. And then you can...
Okay, so that's maybe like some
and that's kind
solution.
of what you wanted to get at, right?
Yeah.
It's super powerful from a concept perspective. We've done some conceptual work with Atlassian on Draw.io on that. And people have been pretty interested and energetic. So
it needs to be like a complete solution because in last year or 2 years ago, I saw in the Atlassian event in London. It was in London, and they presented the AI agent with the Slack only, right? So, but what about the Teams, right? If they are going to enable this on the Teams or other, tools.
Google Chat.
So this needs to be a complete solution, not only that works on, on the selected area.
Yeah. You put in something about SOC 2. Is that something that you're dealing with?
Yeah, like we done this last year. It was a huge challenge for us. The SOC 2 is it's not a certification. It's like a set of rules that it needs to match to get this. Basically, it's a report, right? And the auditor describes what works and what doesn't work for you. And we done it. Like we go through all the control points and implemented almost all that. That the control points defined. So the biggest thing is that we brought to this topic very seriously, and this changed the way how we work.
So that is actually something good came out of it. It's not only you were triggered by Atlassian wanting that, right?
No, like it was right before they mentioned about the Venta, right?
Okay.
The Venta discount. So we started, when they mentioned about this, we were ending our audit process.
Okay.
So the main idea was that if we are focused on the cloud and most of our customers are located in the US, then we need to have some kind of confirmation that Amspire is a serious company.
Yeah.
And we think about the security in a serious way. So that's why we decided. Also, if you are a smaller company, it's easier to make this.
Sure.
For many reasons. Like the worst thing is changing the employee behaviors. And it's very difficult if you are, for example, 100% company.
Oh, we're knee deep into our ISO 27001 certification. Don't tell me, it's it's a big rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.